Hi everyone, my name is Rick and I welcome you back to my channel. If you're new here, I basically do a garden walk every week and then I show you a bunch of Hoyas and orchids and tropicals growing in my backyard. Today I have 5 Hoyas that are actually blooming, so I'll show you the whole plant and the flowers that opened up either yesterday or the day before. Or last week. Some of them are actually still blooming. And then I'm going to take you down the street. There's a neighbor that has his medium, the sidewalk medium, covered in bromeliads, and it looks really cool this time of year, so I'd like to share that with you. And then I'll probably end the video with a walk down Main Street here in Kenwood. We had a really nice rain storm last week, so everything is looking pretty lush and putting out a lot of new growth and a lot of buds, but the orchids that I had in bloom are kind of going down. Hopefully they'll be replaced by others soon, like this Dendrobium aggregatum lasted about 2 weeks. I was hoping that would last a little longer, but it's on its way out there. And this is the 1015. It had a total of like 6 blooms at once. Now it's down to a couple. This is, everyone seems to like this hybrid of mine. I call it Swiffer's Mood. The leaves are quite thick. It's very succulent and dark edge and very compact internodes. So it's quite attractive plant, and it's very succulent, so it doesn't require a lot of water. I wish it grew a little faster, but if it stays like this, it's a really, really attractive foliage plant. And here's Swiffer following me. She needs to know what I'm doing. And I have a really nice splashy AH074. As you can see, it's a very attractive Hoya foliage-wise, but it has a propensity to revert back to green. And then I have for you later in the video another plant that's reverted and it's close to blooming. Here's my sunrise doing its thing. It's putting out a lot of peduncles, so I'm really looking forward to seeing blooms on this plant again. It's such a good grower too. And I moved the Chinese Wilbur, as they call it, out here. It seems to get a few hours of sun and it should enjoy that. Oh, the leaves are getting pretty splashy. And we have the Brise simplex in bloom. I'll give you a close-up of what the actual flower looks like. It's very simple, but the beauty of this is that the brackets are so colorful, and they could be like 3. Having a hard time focusing today. They can be up to 3 feet long, and it's a prolific bloomer. It's throwing flowers everywhere. Such a gorgeous bromeliad. And this is, I got it as species de Val Philippines. As you can see, it's of some kind of verticillata with really splashy, very consistently splashed leaves. And it's a very, very good bloomer, very fragrant plant. And it blooms like constantly out here. And this Hoya is really, really catching my eye lately. It's this AH73. Really nice dark edge to it. The form of the plant is really pretty. And hopefully I can get a really nice size plant and some flowers soon. Oh yeah, I actually noticed a peduncle forming out here. So very happy to have that. And this is the Hoya Perfection. It almost died on me. I left it out here that night that it dropped down to, I think it went down all the way to 35 degrees. And it lost some leaves, but these seem to be doing okay. So it wasn't a total loss. And there's more flower buds here on this verticillata. I'm going to show you a couple things in the backyard. These mounted Phalaenopsis orchids here on the tree are looking really nice. So many buds. And these flowers usually last a couple months at least. And I have a ton of them mounted over there. I wanted to show you this orchid that I rebloomed from last year. It's this Dendrobium Stardust Firebird. I think I got it from Carmela's about a year and a half ago. And it's so beautiful, the colors and the lips on these. They're slightly fragrant, and it's a happy little, I think it's a Nobiles, they call it, kind of Dendrobium. And I'm so happy that I got to rebloom it. Then I have a couple other orchids here. I think I showed it to you last week. And it's this, they call it Nugget Digger. It's that really, really stunning orange that I like. Then on the table is this orchid that is really stunning. It's like really delicate. I'll show you, I think I have a tag on here. I also think I got this from Carmela's, and it's called Angel Love Cross Scanary. And it is nicely fragrant. And this big begonia I picked up at, I think at either Home Depot or Lowe's, and this one isn't. Sometimes they sell these plants in self-watering pots, and for this begonia, it just loves it. I fill that reservoir and once a week, and that's all it takes, and she always looks really beautiful. And this is a begonia I picked out of the terrarium. It's called Silver Dollar, and it's super easy to grow. It multiplies non-stop, and it's a real stunner. And I thought it was only going to do well in the terrarium, but it seems to be doing fantastic out here in the weather, because it hasn't been too hot and too humid. So maybe when it gets too hot here in Florida, I probably will have to bring it in the house. But it's a real beauty, and so easy to grow. So let me just go and show you the 5 Hoyas that are in bloom. And before I get to the blooming Hoyas, let me show you the AH74 that I got. I showed it to you earlier in the video, the one I have in the garden entrance. It has a lot of these splashy leaves, but this actual plant actually reverted to mostly green. It has a little splash, but most of the leaves are green, like a typical carnosa. And it's putting out a couple of bloom spurts. There's one coming out here, and then here's the other peduncle. Should be open in maybe a couple 3 days. And this is only growing here in a 2-inch pot. So this is actually a very vigorous grower. It's unfortunate that it lost the variegation, but it's still a very lovely plant. And this is a Hoya pachaculada albo marginata. It's actually been in bloom for like over a week. You can see the leaves are so close together that the peduncle was kind of stuck in between them. So when it bloomed, the peduncle couldn't be a nice ball of flowers like it usually is, because it was squished in between there, but it's still lovely. This is one of my favorite foliage plants. It's pretty succulent, so you want to grow it in a very loose mix and let it completely dry out like a cactus almost when you water it. So yeah, the leaves are really gorgeous. They're this kind of matte green, and then the white and outer border, and then the outer edge is kind of red. And if you give it more light, that red intensifies. So it's a really, really pretty Hoya. I hope I can do a better job focusing on this flower because it's really quite exquisite. This is Hoya species Surigao del Sur. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it is flowering. I got this about, I would say about 6 months ago from Thailand, and it came with a peduncle, so that usually helps. A lot of times peduncles drop, but I would say about 50% of the times, if it comes with a peduncle, it will, the peduncle will be viable and produce flowers for you. So as you can see, this peduncle was very active. It bloomed at least 6 times by the rings on the peduncle. And here are the flowers. They kind of remind me a little bit of Hoya aldrichii, but they're a little bit more delicate and softer colors. And the leaves are very different from Hoya aldrichii. So it's a very attractive medium-sized Hoya, and the foliage actually grows pretty quickly. I haven't had any problems with it. I think this plant doubled in size in the last 6 months, and it should go into a very active growth spurt here in the summer. So I'll keep you updated on this Hoya species Surigao del Sur. And this is Hoya petrolii. I think I'm really screwing up that name, but it also goes by the name of Isensis 023. And it's really one of the easiest Hoyas to grow. It's a hybrid. I believe it's out of Thailand. I'm not really sure on the parentage on this, but the edges get really dark. This is grown in a little bit of light, so a little stronger light or undergrow lights, the edges get darker than this. And as you can see, it's getting all kinds of peduncles everywhere. The plant looks a little unformed is because it was attacking other pots. As you can see, these roots were growing into another pot, and I just now separated them. And I think it has 6 peduncles. And let me show you the flower. It is quite beautiful. The contrasting coronas against that pale yellow are stunning. Let's see if I can get a close-up of that. Yeah, it's really, really a people pleaser. And like I said, it's a frequent bloomer and easy to care for. So if you don't have Isensis and you want an easy Hoya to grow, I don't think you'd be disappointed with this one. And this is Hoya latifolia. This is the one that goes by Suoesi GPS 8867. As you can see, the leaves get pretty big. Actually, they actually get bigger than this. But this is a small plant. I just planted it in here a few months ago in this 2-inch pot. And this leaf was up on the top shelf of the greenhouse, so it did get some sun stressing there. and it's blooming. Let's see if I can get some close-ups of it. Yeah, this is the bloom of Hoya GPS 8867. It's quite attractive and it smells like cloves, like clove cigarettes. And it has like these multi-bracketed peduncles. And this is Hoya Christine. It's named after Christine Burton, and it's a suspected cross of Hoya subquintiponervis and Hoya patziae. I had ignored it. It was in the corner of the greenhouse all winter, and it didn't get any water, so the leaves look a little dehydrated. But these leaves are quite thick, and it did put on a show this spring. As you can see, these umbels are pretty tight. They're very, very fragrant. And it's a really gorgeous Hoya, very easy. You literally can ignore it for months and it still will do good for you if the potting mix is not too dense. So you want to keep it a nice berry mix. It's more like a succulent because, like I said, it has the subquintiponervis, which is like a pachaculada with very thick leaves. So anytime a Hoya has very thick leaves, it kind of tells me that you don't have to water it as much. So yeah, this is Hoya Christine. I actually met Christine back in 2010. I visited her in her greenhouse and we had a very long chat. And before I get to the final bloomer, I want to show you guys this soon to bloom species limbang. I got it from Indonesia about 6 months ago, and it's really gorgeous. The leaves are quite huge, as you can see, and very veiny. I don't know if I can really demonstrate the size, but it's like almost twice the size of my hand. Yeah, so it's a really veiny, very thick succulent. I have it growing in Weka, and it seems like it's somewhat happy. It hasn't put out any new growth, so hopefully it'll do that this summer because these leaves are really quite attractive. And I will keep you updated on what the flowers on this look like. Hoya limbang. And the last bloomer I have for you today is Hoya ruthier UT 168. I've had this plant for about a year and a few months, and I got it as a 2-node cutting, a rooted cutting, and since I've received it, it's grown really well, and this is the first time I've had it bloom in my collection. And I've had this plant over the years, and I've killed most of them, and I never had them bloom. So it's not one of the easiest Hoyas to grow, but as you can see, it's very, very gorgeous. I have it growing in my regular soil-based mix. It's pretty chunky with charcoal and perlite, and it's grown quite a bit from that 2-node plant I got a year ago. The leaves are pretty attractive. They get to be pretty thick. As you can see, I didn't bring it out into the pedestal because it's putting out all these peduncles, and I don't want to disturb it because these flowers are really super special. They're really gorgeous. I've never seen corollas that are that long, so really gorgeous Hoya. Hoya ruthier UT 168. Okay, let's go and see the bromeliads down in the medium and the neighborhood main street. So I'm approaching the house that has all the bromeliads in the sidewalk medium. I've been thinking of ideas on what to do with the medium in front of my house. It has grass there now, but it's not doing very well. The grass dries up almost completely in the spring and summer. So I would like to use plants that require very little water and plant out there. So I've been looking around the neighborhood, and some of these mediums look really nice with a lot of color. And I'll show you guys. This is all bromeliads, and these are pygmy date palms. So a nice landscape job they did here. Lots of color. The bromeliads are exquisite. There's so many different varieties. So they flower throughout the year. Some produce pretty tiny little flowers. Others put on a show, like I'll show you at the end there. There's one that's really exquisite. So yeah, basically they do have a sprinkler system, but bromeliads don't require a lot of water. So maybe even if you just watered once a week, it would be sufficient. And then the summer, it rains here almost every day. So I see they have vincas. Vincas are pretty drought tolerant here in St. Petersburg. Yeah, but some of these bromeliads, the color is so exquisite. Like they can become almost like a purple dark color there, almost appearing black at times if they get a lot of sun. And yeah, there's all kinds of flowers coming up on these bromeliads. Like I said, they flower throughout the year. Yeah, it's really a nice job they did here. And they have a lot. They actually have a double lot. And they have some really exquisite varieties in this collection. I haven't been to their backyard, but I'm assuming the way the front yard looks, the backyard has a lot more of the rare varieties of bromeliads. So this is also a bromeliad here. It's quite large, quite beautiful. So yeah, there's all kinds of different kinds of bromeliads. I'm not really good at naming the different species of bromeliads, as you can see there's just such a variety of color and shape and form, and the flowers are quite gorgeous. As you can see, some of them are beginning to open up. And there's one over here. I think I have this one in my collection, but I can't remember the name. I'm sure you bromeliad people know. It has like this orange stem, and the flowers are like neon purple blue. Can't really see it against the sidewalk, but it's a really gorgeous plant. So yeah, just a lot of stuff that you can do with landscaping with bromeliads. Well, this flower is kind of dying back, but you can see it was really gorgeous red color. So yeah, it's a really nice way to treat, to have your medium with nice landscaping and no grass. And now we're going down to the central area. I think they call it this Mexican flame vine. Really a prolific bloomer all the time. And they did a nice job here with bromeliads on the medium. Nice landscape on this busy road here. And this is a passiflora. This is probably one of the fastest growing plants I've seen. I used to have one in my backyard in my old house, and it really took over, and you can see it's really a huge specimen, and it's constantly blooming. It has all these flower buds. But yeah, there's a lot of bromeliad mediums. I better take note. Some bougainvilleas, they're pretty common here in Florida. More bromeliads. Cute little cottage And this is I think they call it firebush. Very drought tolerant Florida plants. Yeah, lots of gardens here in St. Petersburg. And this is, I believe it's called a tababuya tree. It's really pretty. And we have some white birds of paradise. There's one actually blooming. And those are pretty common here as well. And this apartment complex is really cute. I like these. They're like a Key West style. I think there's 4 or 5 of them. They're rentals and they're really well kept and they have cute little gardens. And so here we are in the Grand Central area, which is our business district for our Kenwood neighborhood. You can see St. Petersburg is really big on street art, and they're actually one of the biggest draws for mural painters. So that's really amazing artworks. There's literally hundreds of these murals throughout the downtown and the central area here. And it's a beautiful Sunday morning. Everyone's coming in and out of brunches. There's a lot of new little restaurants and nice places, coffee shops to visit. So yeah, this is quite the happening area. I moved down to this neighborhood about 15 years ago, and it's really changed for the better. Used to be a lot of artists here, and there still are, but a lot of new business have come around, and a lot of nice landscaping. There's been just a lot of activity, really good coffee shops. There's antique shops and all these nice local businesses. They don't allow any of the chain restaurants, so you won't find a Starbucks or a McDonald's or anything like that here, which is really nice. So let me just swing around. There's another mural over there. Down there is my art studios down this street. My art studio and gallery at the Morin Art Center, and my favorite coffee shop over there in that lot. They also have a really nice garden. You can sit outside. Maybe one day you'll have coffee with me there. I'll shoot a video in there. And they have this little square corner here, and they planted these perennial peanut, and I guess it's drought tolerant, and it's doing really well. And they have the bamboo over there. So they have lots of art galleries, like I said, a lot of antique shops, and they've started opening a lot of beer brewery places. So that's kind of nice. I can just walk down the street and have a beer at night and dinner and head back home. And now we're approaching, if you hear dogs, there's a dog bar. We can bring your dogs. I think I can show you guys in there. You bring your dogs, and there's, I think, you can order drinks, and next door there's some food you can get. I think it's called The Dog Bar. I don't have a dog, but if I did, it would be a great place to have, to bring your dog and have them socialize with other dogs. So let me see if I can shoot some footage in there. So yeah, it's pretty cool. The dogs roam around. There's even a little swimming pool for them. And there's a full bar there. There's a nice mural of a dog there. So it's a pretty big place. And this is a new addition. It's this monstrosity building is a beer Grand Central Brew House and a restaurant. So you can see some of it is open and some of it is not. There's like rooftop decks. It's really really nice place to come and have dinner and drinks at night. So this is the restaurant part. It's also a bar. We're getting ready for lunch. It's really nice. And the really popular outdoor seating area and outdoor bar, patio bar upstairs. And they're building there a pool, a bar, which is basically a big bar with a pool, so you can come and just have an afternoon of swimming and drinking if that's your thing. There's a popular restaurant and a popular gay bar across the street there. And which I thought was pretty bizarre is when they put this Hatchet Hangout. I have never been in there. That apparently is a bar where you can throw these hatchets. And there's people in there already throwing hatchets. See if I can peek in there. Yes, so you throw the hatchet. Those bullseye. And I think this is going to be it for my video today. I hope you enjoyed this content. Let me know below if you'd like to see more of the neighborhood area and the gardens and all that below. And I hope you have a wonderful Sunday and a great week ahead. And again, happy spring to everyone. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.